As we step into the final days of April, a powerful alchemy is already unfolding beneath the surface. Kendra Bishop shares that this last stretch from April 22nd to 30th isn't simply more turbulence, it's a sacred corridor of accelerated evolution. Every emotional storm, every unexpected closure, every rising intuition now carries deeper codes meant to shift your timeline permanently. Kendra reveals that the planets are orchestrating a quantum leap disguised as disruption. If you know how to see it, the apparent chaos will reveal itself as pure opportunity. The choice is no longer about surviving April. It's about transforming through it. April's final portal. Why the energy sharpens now. Kendra explains that the sharpening of energy at April's end is a sign that your soul's contracts are converging. It's a culmination point where unresolved energies seek final release, not to punish, but to liberate. Every tightness you feel, every urgency or emotional spike is a whisper from the deeper self saying, now or never. The field is compressing, but not against you. It's pressing you into your highest alignment. Just like a diamond forms under pressure, your next vibrational evolution is being squeezed into existence. Kendra teaches that discomfort now is less about hardship and more about compression before emergence. This portal acts like a vibrational sorting chamber. What cannot match your future frequency will naturally fall away without needing your permission. Relationships, dreams, even self-images that once defined you are now dissolving, making way for something astonishingly more authentic. You are being invited into sacred refinement, not punishment. Kendra emphasizes that it's the places where pressure feels most intense that are closest to breakthrough. Trust the sharpening. Trust the discomfort. They are not signs of failure. They are the doorway to a quantum leap your soul came here to take. Turmoil isn't random. It's a symptom of quantum realignment. When the structures of life feel unstable, the mind races for explanations. But true transformation is rarely logical at first. Turmoil marks not collapse, but active reassembly at a higher octave. It signals that your inner field has outgrown old realities, even if your conscious mind hasn't caught up yet. Think of turmoil as sacred disorganization, a necessary stirring to realign everything you've anchored into. In physics, systems destabilize before they reorganize into more complex, coherent patterns. Your life is undergoing that same evolution right now, whether you realize it fully or not. The beauty of this stage lies in its ruthless honesty. False alignments can no longer hide behind convenience or familiarity. Vibrational mismatches reveal themselves with brutal clarity. The pressure to make it work dissolves, replaced by a quiet knowing of what must shift. This turbulence tests not your endurance, but your willingness to surrender into higher alignment. It's easy to resist, to grasp at fragments of the old, but greater strength comes from trusting the intelligence within the breakdown itself. Realignment is always coded into apparent chaos. Uranus and Venus create shockwaves of heart awakening. Kendra shares that the cosmic dance between Uranus and Venus at April's end will create sudden emotional eruptions designed to liberate trapped heart energies. These shockwaves may arrive as startling revelations, unexpected breakups, sudden inspirations, or powerful emotional releases that you didn't anticipate. Uranus, the planet of unpredictable liberation, cracks open structures that have confined your emotional truth. Venus, governing love and values, reveals what your heart truly desires beneath the noise of societal programming. Together, they orchestrate sudden shifts that are less destruction and more sacred redirection. You may find yourself weeping without clear cause or feeling overwhelming waves of nostalgia, gratitude, or longing. Kendra explains that these are the signals of your heart remembering its original blueprint, beyond fear, beyond duty, beyond conditioned expectation. These shockwaves might initially feel destabilizing, but they are holy ruptures clearing the way for soul-based relationships, deeper creativity, and unapologetic authenticity. The mind may resist, but the heart knows when its prison walls have cracked open to let the light flood in. Through every surprising shift, Kendra encourages, honor the movement. Trust that even the emotional earthquakes are lovingly guided by your higher self's longing to live wide open, fearless, and fully alive. Mars crossing boundaries. Courage will be redefined. The surge of Mars energy crashing over energetic thresholds this month isn't random aggression. It's a call to authentic courage. Mars doesn't ask if you're ready. It simply thrusts you into situations where half commitments collapse and full embodiment becomes the only sustainable path. Courage now looks nothing like the bravado of old paradigms. It isn't about charging headlong into battle. It's about standing firmly inside yourself when every external pressure tries to pull you away from your center. True courage has nothing to prove. It simply chooses truth over comfort. You may find yourself confronting authority figures, outdated rules, or even your own limiting beliefs. Mars ignites the sacred fire of autonomy, not rebellion for rebellion's sake, but a soul-deep demand for full-spectrum authenticity. There's no pretending left when Mars calls you into action. This wave demands radical integrity. No more nodding along to survive, no more playing small to keep the peace. It insists that your yes means yes, your no means no, and your actions match your soul's deepest convictions without apology. Let yourself be reshaped by this courage. Mars isn't asking for perfection. It's asking for permission to burn away everything that once made you smaller than the truth of who you really are. Endings now are soul agreements concluding themselves. Kendra teaches that many closures happening now are the fulfillment of sacred contracts, not punishments or losses. Relationships, careers, identities. Everything dissolving was written long ago in the blueprint of your soul's evolving journey. When a soul agreement reaches its completion, there's a distinctive feeling, not of anger, but of inevitability. You might feel sadness, but also relief, as if carrying something heavy whose purpose has finally been served. Kendra explains that this grace signals that nothing truly real is ever lost. Some endings are loud, others slip away quietly, almost unnoticed until you realize the energy no longer calls you. Trust both kinds. Grieve if needed, but understand that the space now opening isn't empty. It's sacred, fertile, and ready for new codes to anchor in. Allow gratitude to accompany the letting go. Every connection, every chapter, every version of self that is leaving now leaves behind a gift of mastery. You don't owe the past your loyalty. You owe your future your fullness. Kendra reminds us, when doors close at the end of April, they are not punishments. They are ceremonies of release, honoring the completion of what needed to be lived, learned, and finally laid to peaceful rest. The sun and moon align for conscious rebirth. The final days of April are blessed with a powerful alignment between the sun and moon, creating a gateway not for wishful thinking, but for conscious rebirth. This isn't about becoming someone new. It's about shedding everything that veiled who you have always been beneath the noise. Solar light charges your identity with truth, illuminating the places where you have outgrown old roles, titles, and ego-driven patterns. Lunar reflection, at the same time, draws up the hidden soul memories that long to be lived fully and unapologetically in this lifetime. When the sun and moon synchronize like this, it signals a moment where outer purpose and inner essence have the opportunity to merge. You're being asked to stop performing for life and start emanating from the core. The masks of survival are no longer needed. This rebirth doesn't come through striving. It comes through surrendering all the ways you've tried to fix yourself instead of simply remembering yourself. It's not about climbing higher. It's about falling inward into the luminous center where destiny already waits. In this rare energetic window, rebirth is effortless if you allow it. Not because life gets easier, but because your attachment to outdated versions of self dissolves, leaving you lighter, freer, and infinitely more magnetic to what truly belongs to you. Earth's energy grid recalibrates in response to human choice. Kendra explains that the Earth's electromagnetic field is not a passive backdrop. It's a living, breathing consciousness matrix. And during this closing phase of April, it is responding dynamically to the vibrational choices made by humanity, both individually and collectively. Every decision you make to lean into fear or faith, separation or connection, sends ripples into the planetary field. Earth listens. She reorganizes her magnetic lines in accordance with the dominant emotional currents of her children. Your alignment matters more now than ever before. This recalibration isn't about immediate collapse or sudden paradise. It's a subtle tectonic shifting underneath the visible reality. Structures, ecosystems, and systems built on old fear templates are slowly disintegrating, while crystalline frequency nodes, new soul-aligned systems, are silently rising. Kendra shares that during intense energy gateways like this, small acts of coherence, gratitude, forgiveness, creativity, carry enormous leverage. A single coherent human heart can stabilize miles of energetic grid, offering sanctuary for countless others who are still awakening. Your presence, your choices, your field are not isolated acts. They are part of a planetary symphony playing out across dimensions right now. Even unseen, your light is coding the next reality Earth will one day reveal visibly to all. Turbulence exposes what was built on false frequency. The intensifying turbulence at April's end is not evidence that things are getting worse. It's the natural exposure of what can no longer sustain the rising light. Systems, structures, and personal identities that were cobbled together through fear, manipulation, or compromise are surfacing for dismantling. False frequency structures feel heavy now. Efforts that once flowed easily begin to grind. Relationships that once distracted you now demand stark, uncomfortable truth. It's not betrayal. It's energetic revelation, a stripping away of the false to make room for the authentic. Think of it like a storm shaking rotten fruit from a tree. The storm isn't angry. It's clearing the way for new, healthy growth. The same is happening within and around you. What falls now is what could never thrive in the higher fields you're entering. Turbulence will feel more intense where illusions have been strongest. Yet underneath the noise is a silent clarity calling you forward. You're not being punished. You're being freed. Every collapse is a contraction that precedes a far more expansive rebirth. The more you cling to the false, the rougher the shedding feels. The more you soften and trust the pruning, the faster you align with new timelines that will nourish your soul instead of depleting it. Karmic loops intensify before they collapse. Kendra teaches that the final intensifications you're experiencing aren't new problems. They are old karmic loops flaring up for one last dance before they disintegrate. It's like the volume turning up on every unresolved lesson, giving you a final opportunity to choose differently. Patterns of abandonment, betrayal, scarcity, unworthiness, whatever scripts your soul came here to heal, may feel amplified now. Kendra shares that this is not regression, it's purification. These loops must surface in their full intensity so that they can be witnessed, honored, and released. The temptation will be to fall back into reaction, to lash out, collapse into despair, or cling tighter to familiar pain. But you know better now. You've trained for this. The old scripts only persist as long as you believe they define you. Choosing neutrality, compassion, or even gentle humor in the face of old triggers dissolves their power like salt in water. Every conscious choice you make now untangles not just personal karma, but ancestral and collective threads intertwined with your soul's lineage. Kendra reminds you, when a karmic loop intensifies, it's not because you're failing, it's because you are strong enough now to end it forever. Every breath you take in awareness rewrites entire quantum pathways for future generations. Healing dreams carry precise instructions for next steps. Dream time during the final days of April becomes a sacred transmission station. Your subconscious gates open wider, allowing guidance from the higher self, star lineage memories, and future timelines to flow into symbolic imagery and emotional downloads. The dreams may not always make linear sense. You might see fragmented landscapes, distant faces, or surreal scenarios that stir powerful emotions. Don't rush to decode them logically. Instead, feel their emotional texture. The sensation they leave behind is the true message. These dream states carry precise vibrational instructions: where to move, what to release, who to align with, which frequency corridors are activating for you now. Often, the most pivotal shifts happen in sleep long before the waking mind understands. Journal upon waking. Even seemingly nonsensical fragments often hold keys that unlock within days or weeks. Dreams now aren't just processing daily stress. They are direct guidance streams from your expanded self to your waking embodiment. Treat sleep as a spiritual ceremony during this phase. Create intentional space before resting. Set the intention to receive clarity. April's closing days are not just teaching your mind, they are rewiring your entire soul architecture from dimensions beyond words. April's end demands emotional maturity over emotional reactivity. Kendra explains that the final stretch of April doesn't reward spiritual knowledge, it demands emotional mastery. It's no longer enough to know about alignment. The universe is asking whether you can embody it when triggers fire and illusions crumble. The emotional intensity rising now isn't random. It's precisely calibrated to reveal whether your heart remains anchored when storms rise. Can you remain spacious when others project fear? Can you respond with centeredness rather than reactive defense? Emotional reactivity collapses timelines. Maturity expands them. Kendra teaches that the mastery now being asked isn't about suppressing emotion. It's about letting emotion flow without letting it steer your consciousness off course. Feel fully, but remain rooted in soul perspective. Choosing pause over panic, reflection over reaction, becomes radical acts of creation now. Every time you choose emotional coherence in the face of turbulence, you seed new fields of probability where peace, clarity, and genuine connection can root. In the end, your emotional body isn't being tested to break you. It's being stretched to reveal the quantum architect you have always been. Emotional storms don't drown awakened beings, they refine them into forces of living calm. Mercury's new phase activates hidden spiritual contracts. Mercury's movement at the end of April is more than a shift in communication. It's a trigger point activating hidden spiritual contracts embedded in your soul blueprint. Conversations you thought were casual will reveal karmic undertones. Agreements dormant for lifetimes may stir awake. Sudden opportunities, meetings, or partings might arrive with an eerie sense of inevitability. Pay close attention to what and who shows up during this phase. The soul remembers what the mind cannot yet explain. Mercury's new phase dissolves masks. Words spoken in haste or depth will reveal soul alignments. Karmic debts may suddenly be forgiven. Promised collaborations from other timelines may finally materialize. Your task isn't to control it, it's to listen vibrationally. Not everything activated during this time will stay forever. Some contracts come to ignite a change and then dissolve. Some stay to build new worlds. Learning to recognize the difference is part of the maturation being initiated now. Treat communication like sacred energy during this window. Every word, every conversation, every contract carries multidimensional echoes. You are not just talking. You are weaving future timelines through the simple power of aligned sound. Physical symptoms reflect soul skin shedding. Kendra shares that many physical symptoms arising now aren't illnesses, they are soul skin shedding. Your body is detoxifying old timelines, purging ancestral imprints, and recalibrating to hold the frequency of your future self. Fatigue, emotional waves, vivid body sensations, even strange aches, these are not random. They are indicators that your nervous system is clearing density that your higher self no longer wishes to carry into the next phase. Cellular memories are being rewritten. Kendra explains that hydration, grounding, and deep intentional rest are crucial during this phase. You are not lazy. You are in energetic metamorphosis. Honoring your body's needs is honoring the quantum upgrades underway in your field. Sometimes the soul must literally unweave the body's old coding to make space for light intelligence to anchor. Trust that symptoms appearing now are signposts of progress, not defeat. Healing now looks less like fixing and more like surrendering to evolution. Your body is the sacred vessel for your ascended soul. Treat it with reverence. Let it release. Let it recalibrate. Every moment of compassion you offer your body echoes through dimensions, preparing you to walk fully into new realities that require lighter, freer vessels. Relationships become mirrors, magnifying growth or resistance. Under April's final energies, relationships transform from emotional comforts into vibrational mirrors of astonishing clarity. Connections now either amplify your expansion or spotlight your hidden resistance, and both are gifts. If certain bonds feel more nourishing, more magnetic, it's because they match the frequency corridors your soul is stepping into. If others feel strained, heavy, or suddenly irrelevant, it's not personal betrayal. It's energetic divergence revealing itself without drama. Observe how you feel around different people now, not from judgment, but from awareness. Do you expand? Contract? Feel called into deeper truth? Or pulled back into old roles and compromises no longer sustainable in your energy field? Sometimes, endings come not through argument, but through a simple fading of resonance. Sometimes, new alliances spark instantly across timelines because you are finally tuned to the same soul radio station. The relationships that remain and deepen now are those meant to walk with you across thresholds into realities unimaginable to your former self. Honor the shifts. They are the soul's language of movement through multidimensional landscapes. Creative flow returns once energetic clutter clears. Kendra teaches that after the turbulence and shedding of late April, something exquisite happens. Creative flow returns. But this isn't creativity born from force or ego. It's the natural byproduct of having cleared the energetic clutter that once muted your authentic genius. As old emotional debris burns away, the channel between your soul and your expression widens. Ideas arrive not as strained efforts, but as living currents moving through you, asking for embodiment in writing, art, business, service, or sacred innovation. Kendra emphasizes that creativity now is not just about projects. It's about birthing new frequencies into the earth grid through your unique resonance. What you create in alignment now stabilizes entire energetic blueprints for others to access unconsciously. There is no competition in this flow. There is only unique streams of source manifesting through millions of different tones, colors, and offerings. Your job is not to outperform others. It's to let your specific thread of soul current flow without censorship. Creativity after this April clearing will feel less like building and more like remembering. Less like striving, more like surrendering to the beauty that has waited patiently for space to breathe through you. Financial realignment mirrors internal self-worth upgrades. As April closes, a subtle but powerful energetic truth becomes unavoidable. Your external financial flow mirrors your internal self-worth calibration. Money now flows not toward hustle or manipulation, but toward aligned, authentic self-resonance. If scarcity patterns are surfacing, it's not to shame you. It's to reveal where you still believe you must fight or perform to deserve abundance. True abundance flows where being and offering are unified, not where fear contracts your field into grasping. April's energy demands an upgrade, trusting that worthiness precedes manifestation. When you stand rooted in your inherent value, without justification, without apology, you become a living magnet for resources that match your highest contribution. This shift isn't about magic tricks or quick fixes. It's about vibrational stewardship. Can you hold your energetic field in confidence even when the physical evidence is still catching up? Can you walk in the knowing that you are funded because you are aligned? Financial realignment in these final April days isn't just about income. It's about restoring right relationship between soul essence and material flow. Money will follow mission now, not the other way around. Trust the recalibration happening quietly beneath the surface. Intuition becomes the only reliable navigation system. Kendra shares that during the closing week of April, logic becomes increasingly unreliable, while intuition sharpens into your primary survival and creation tool. The mind once king must now bow to the softer, subtler authority of inner knowing. Old decision-making models, pros and cons lists, external validation, following trends, collapse under the weight of quantum reality's fluidity. Linear reasoning simply cannot keep pace with multidimensional fields unfolding in real time around you. Your body, your heart, your emotional field, they become your living compass. Tiny tugs, subtle excitements, gentle contractions, these signals are gold. Kendra explains that intuition doesn't shout. It whispers with stunning precision when you dare to listen without doubt. This new navigation demands deep presence. No autopilot. No outsourcing your choices to old structures. Every step becomes a sacred act of tuning inward, feeling the vibrational signature of each option before moving. Developing intuitive trust now isn't optional. It's foundational. The worlds you are entering, the timelines you are bridging, require soul-led movement. Logic alone won't take you there, but the song of your own higher knowing will lead you unerringly through every unseen doorway. Transformation isn't coming, you are already becoming it. The final and most profound truth of April's closing days is this: transformation isn't a future event. It's already underway through you. There is no someday where you finally arrive. You are mid-alchemy, mid-flight, mid-rebirth at this very breath. Waiting for external confirmation only delays the embodiment of what your soul already knows. You are not preparing to change. You are already shedding, unfolding, remembering the architecture your spirit designed for this era long before birth. Every surrender you've made, every shadow you've faced, every heartache you've transmuted, they are the sacred fires through which you have already been reshaped into a new fractal of self. You don't have to force the becoming. You are the becoming. The end of April marks a sealing, a moment where the quantum self steps more fully into the visible world, not as a perfected being, but as a living, breathing bridge between old and new earth frequencies. You are not chasing evolution. You are its embodiment. In your laughter, your tears, your creations, your stillness, You are already carrying the codes that call tomorrow's world into being. Walk forward knowing you are the prophecy fulfilled. The greatest shift, Kendra shares, is realizing that embodiment isn't a finish line you cross. It's a living state you nurture with every conscious breath. You are not here to wait for miracles outside of you. You are the miracle in motion, refining itself through choice after choice. The more you anchor into this knowing, the more your outer world bends to mirror your inner reality. Evolution is no longer theoretical. It's tactile, emotional, relational. You are the blooming proof that becoming is not a future event. It's a present devotion to walking as your truest self, moment after holy moment.